Yo, welcome back to episode 5 of Darius College Steps to Success. I hope that you all have enjoyed all the content, all the tips, all the advice, all the topics, the subtopics, everything that I've talked about so far. I try to crack some jokes here and there. So I hope that I've been doing my best making you all laugh. If not, I'm going to try harder. I'm going to get better. But today we're going to be talking about time management and the importance of time management. I know I heard some of y'all sigh. Some of y'all sighed on the other end. I know it because a lot of y'all do not have good time management. I did not, for one, have good time management my freshman and sophomore year of college because I was away from home and I was taking advantage of all this free time I had. But when those midterms and those final exams, like deadlines came, I was crunching away at 11:59 p.m. almost every single time when midterm time came, when final time, even just regular assignments. I tried to sit there and crunch time and be like, I can do this. I'm sitting up there downloading it at 11:58 and 30 seconds and trying to get it in by 11:50. It's all types of crazy stuff. But I'm here to give tips and guidance about time management on this episode today. So feel free to listen, grab a soda, grab some popcorn, or grab a snack and relax for a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is setting clear goals. So you want to have short-term and long-term goals. So those short-term goals are those assignments that you have to get in tomorrow. Those assignments you got to get in 2, 3, 4 days from now. Those assignments you got to get in at the end of the week or at the end of the month. You have to go to a certain amount of presentations, or if you have a job and you have to hit some type of criteria by the end of the month or by the end of the week. Those are short-term goals. So you need to be able to set those short-term goals and distinguish them separately from long-term goals. So you don't want to put those two together because then they start getting mashed up together. So you want to distinguish short-term and long-term. Long-term goals, more so into the semester, more so into the school year. My long-term goal right now is to graduate. At the end, that's been my long-term goal since I stepped foot in college. So those are long-term goals. And you set those goals to be able to achieve something like greater because it took so long to get there. What do you expect to get out of it? I expect to get a couple diplomas. So when you set those long-term goals, maybe you set one at August and you're like, okay, I have to get a 3.0 or a 3.5 or a 4.0 for me to take a trip to Dubai over winter break. If I don't get this GPA, I'm not going. Those are long-term goals. You have to set those stipulations for yourself and set those like expectations. Like if I don't do this, then I can't do this. So when you set those things, you're able to achieve those and it pushes you harder. So distinguish and set those short-term goals and those long-term goals. Those short-term goals, again, assignments, just regular stuff that you kind of got to get in here and there as they come. Those long-term goals, maybe you want to take a trip. Maybe you want a specific GPA. Maybe you want to be a commencement speaker. Maybe you want to be a top 100 student in your school if they have it. Maybe you have those long-term things because that's what you've been striving for a year, for 6 months to a year, 2 years, 3 years. So you strive for those and you strive for greatness to succeed and to get those goals. So within those goals, I'm sure you guys have heard this. There are SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So within those goals, make sure they are SMART goals. S being specific. Make sure they are really specific. You do not want to just make it broad and be like, okay, yeah, I want to get this assignment in. Sure, that may be just a broad goal, but what do you expect from the assignment? Do you expect to learn something from it? Do you expect to get a good grade from the assignment? Because if you just say, I just want to get this assignment in, you're just saying like, okay, I'm going to be satisfied with a D or an F or an incomplete because I didn't do enough work. I just want to get it in. But sometimes you do have to just be like on exams or midterms, like, all right, I've done my best. I'm going to just get it in and stop stressing over it because I put so much work in it. But specific, like I said, if you plan a trip to Dubai and you're like, I have to get a 3.0 or I have to join 2 organizations and be a president or this or that. Those are specific and those help you achieve those goals and those vacations and be able to push you into your shell and into your skin. So measurable. Can you measure them? Is there a time length? Like I said, short term versus long term. Is there a time limit, a time length that you have to get stuff in? Are you one to be like, I have to get assignments in 2 days early? Because I used to do that. I stopped for a little bit, but I used to make sure I get assignments in all last year, at least 2 days early, because I didn't want to be the day before. I'm like, man, I got tomorrow to do it, so I'm not going to do it today. I used to be that person. And so that day I would be scrambling and trying to get the assignment in. So I had to set myself up and be like, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to set out 2 days before if I have an assignment. If I'm real busy, then I will work on it late at night or that next day if I actually have to. But you have to measure them and be like, what is reasonable? What is plausible? What do you expect to get out of these long-term and short-term goals? Next, we're going to move on to achievable. Can you achieve these goals? Can you reach these goals? Don't be planning nothing like you're going to be like, all right, I got a goal, right? And then you want to be like, $20,000 in my bank by tomorrow. Is it achievable? I'm not saying it's impossible. Is it achievable at that? Probably in that current moment and maybe your situation? No, unless you have some type of secret following on TikTok or Instagram and someone just cash apped you randomly, or you start Twitch streaming and this celebrity gifted you. So, I don't know, but miracles happen, but we're going to be realistic in this aspect. Is it achievable? You can't just be making up stuff the day before and expecting it to get it the next day. So you have to set those trips, those rewards, like, okay, I want to get an A in this class. This is a really hard course. If I get an A in this class, I'm gonna go treat me to a nice dinner or a nice pedicure, or I'm gonna buy myself a game console or spend $200 to $300 on myself shopping. So are those achievable? Can you get those? Yes, you can. You can get those goals. So are they relevant? Are they relevant? When you make that list, don't be putting like go to the gym on academic side. I mean, some people might find a way to be like, yeah, if I go to the gym and then I do an assignment while I'm at the gym, that's how many reps I get in. I don't know. People be coming up with all types of crazy stuff nowadays. But you want to separate gym and academics because gym is personal. So you have to separate those things where you want them to be and don't try to like overlap and try to do 2 things at one time, like play games and then be like, all right, if I play these games right here, I need a hour break of like, I need a break. And then the other hour later, I'm gonna do an assignment. Like you can't do that. You can't go back and forth. It may work for some people, but that's not reasonable. But time bound, again, do you have a time limit? Where those goals do you want to be? How you want to be? What do you want to talk about them? Can you say that you've done stuff and you got them done and like, okay, 1 month was my time limit. 1 day was my time limit. 1 week was my time limit. So do you have those things? But yeah, higher assignments, lower assignments, meaning midterms, final exams, get those done early. And so, yeah, it's time management is a lot, but throughout time management, procrastination is like the biggest thing. Procrastination sucks. I used to do it all the time. I don't know. Do people just like procrastinating? Because I literally love procrastinating, and I like feeling that rush when I needed to turn in an assignment. I'm like, I'm gonna procrastinate. I'm gonna wait to the last minute, and I'm gonna give me an hour for a 4-page paper. What was wrong with me? I don't know. Some people still do that because procrastination is heavy because you don't feel motivated to do it. And then when it gets towards the time, you're like, okay, now I'm going to do it. I'm going to give some good advice here. Do not try your best. Do not procrastinate. It honestly sucks because it's not your best work. Some people say they do their best work when they're on a time crunch. But man, that's just nonsense, bro. You don't have time to proofread. You don't got to try to look over. I used to think that, yeah, I do my best work when I'm getting pushed to the deadline and I'm kind of forced to turn that in. No. I did solid work, but when I look back over it and then I had some misspellings or some grammar punctuations, I'm just like, whoa, did I write this paper or did I do this project? Yes, I did, because I said, let me push it to the bone. So procrastination is one of those biggest things that if you don't set like in a journal, like you're gonna do stuff, or reminders on your phone. Phones are such a good, useful tool for reminders and calendar updates and invites. Like those remind me on everything that I have to do. I had a bunch of meetings this week, a bunch of classes. I mean, I know my class by now, but I forgot I had a meeting yesterday, and boom, there comes a reminder up. So don't procrastinate. Don't wait to the last minute to do stuff, to plan for stuff, because it will not be your best work. Some of y'all might try to prove me wrong and be like, yeah, it is going to be my best work, because that's how I feel. I've done my best work being pushed down to 11:59 p.m. deadline almost every assignment. So I'm like, okay, that's you. But majority of people cannot handle procrastination. And when they do it, they look back and realize they shouldn't have procrastinated so much. So, like I said, use a planner, use a journal, use a calendar specifically on your computers or iPads, iPhones, tablets, anything. Load that thing up with literally everything that you have to do. I loaded my calendar up with classes. I know I got classes every day, of course, but you load it into everything you have, because then you look back and forth at it and you're like, okay, I got this, and then I got this right after. So you're not caught off guard if you had an assignment due at noon. Yes, I had assignments due at noon. I think my freshman and sophomore year, that was the most absurd thing ever. Because yeah, I should have got it done, but like just push the deadline to 11:59. I think I forgot an assignment was due at noon one time, and I was scrambling to do it at like 11. And his class was, that's what it was. His class was noon to 1:15, so he had to turn it in right before class. But man, seeing that noon deadline, I was like, whoa, okay, I got a little bit more time, but I pushed it. I pushed it too much. So yeah, all these other things are important. You want to manage your distractions. Don't spend too much time scrolling on social media, too much time playing games, too much time deciding what you want to do, or if you're indecisive. Cut down the distractions and focus and lock in. This is your future, so you got to lock in. So manage those distractions. If you got to delete an app, if you got to get rid of an account, if you got to do something just for like a month or for the end of the semester. I did that. I deleted something. I forgot what it was. I think my sophomore year, like final exam time, because I guess I just couldn't focus. I had the will to just put it down, but like I felt like the time I spent scrolling, I could have spent studying or writing or preparing for final exam time, which was coming up. So you have to minimize those distractions and kind of get rid of those things to succeed. Breaks. Use your breaks. Please use your breaks. Use your breaks. Do not try to crunch everything again. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to say, I'm going to work for an hour and then I'm going to take a break for 15 or 20 minutes. Use those breaks wisely. Don't be like, all right, I did 5 minutes of work and then I'm going to go ahead and scroll on TikTok for like an hour. What? That don't even make sense, okay? So try to section out those breaks evenly, but more so you want to spend more time working and less time breaking, because the more time you break, the less work you get done. Am I preaching? Oh, I think I'm preaching. But yeah, you want to make sure that you incorporate breaks into your day-to-day lives, because you're not over like you don't get burnt out into the things that you're doing. So yeah. And harsh reality, my last point is staying flexible, knowing when assignments are going to come. If assignment gets dropped on you right away, if some life thing happens, you have to be flexible. You have to be able to adapt and be flexible right on the move to be able to adjust. So you can't be like, oh, I didn't know this was coming, or I didn't know this was due, or this or that. You have to be able to shift gears and get right on it right away. So you have to be able to do that and to be able to succeed in that realm, because there's a lot of things that happen in everybody's lives. There may be something happen, family member, something happen to them or whatever. Life's unexpected. So you have to be able to make that shift right away and be able to get things done and not tear you down. So those were my talking points today about time management, procrastination, SMART goals, short-term, long-term goals, a little bit of my own procrastination. But I thank y'all for listening. I hope y'all grab the soda, popcorn, snack, or something to just chill out, listen, maybe do some homework while you listen to me. But I hope I dished out some good advice, some good tips, just good content all around, because that's what I'm here to do and that's what I'm here to achieve. It's good, give good content to people like me in college or on their way to college or who haven't been to college, went straight into the workforce, worked 40 years and trying to come back to college. This is for all ages. This isn't for one age group. So if you have people, feel free to share. And that's all for me. Peace. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.